Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is Kevin over at jkevinjohnson.com. Just here doing a beta test for tonight. Just doing a live stream beta test just to see how things go and see how I like it and see how you all out there like it. Just going to talk a few minutes. Going to talk for about, I don't know, for maybe about 20 or 30 minutes. Just kind of unloading my thoughts for today and getting my views, my observation, my 2 cent commentary out for the day. I do a lot of driving in the day, and that allows the time for me to do a lot of live streaming between YouTube and podcast, and I listen to tons. I'm taking in tons of information, and I aggregate it, and it helps me formulate a few thoughts. And it helps me kind of get through the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not really just going around, just driving around blank-minded or blank-faced, but I'm always contemplating, thinking about things, and always formulate my opinion. You know, everybody's got an opinion out there. So this is one way in which one man can express some of his opinions and views and observations that I've noticed or I tend to notice. So just a little hobby. Hopefully this finds an agreeable place in your ear tonight. If you would, just in some way, shape, or form, say hello to me out there if you can. I'm on Facebook most of the time. A lot of times I'm on Instagram. You'll find me under jkevinjohnson.com on Facebook, and also on Instagram. I think you'll find me under jkevinjohnson.com or just jkevinjohnson, actually. So you'll find me on YouTube too. So if you look for me, you'll find me. You can even type me in Google. You'll find my website, jkevinjohnson.com. No spaces or nothing. It's just jkevinjohnson.com. So just going to start off the little night tonight segment talking about, I've been reading or listening to a couple of books, actually. One about relationships by Shaunti Feldhahn. I forgot. It's what women should know, and there's another one called What Men Should Know, something of that nature. I've read them a couple of times, and I've been listening to some of her interviews and speeches and lectures that she gives, and relationships has been at the top of my list as far as things to kind of go into and look into. So I'll probably allude to some relationship talk tonight. And then another thing I'll look at is I've been reading listening to another book by a real popular social media guy by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk. So a lot of his thoughts and stuff may filter through tonight too. And that tonight I'm going to talk about how to leave, or ways to leave an impact, and ways to leave an impact. And what I mean by that is that I recently got a message, and the message, was from someone who was just conveying a good thought and appreciation for some of the action, some of the work that I was doing. And it's not often that somebody, sends a message of appreciation. That's it. Not asking for anything. Hey, you got a few dollars? Nothing. It's just a message of appreciation. And I really was thankful, grateful, and I really appreciated that the person had sent a message of appreciation. So it just got me to thinking about, how we're to lead our lives and how I lead my life, and how some things that I have learned over the years some nuggets of distilled best practices that I try to implement in my life, employ in my life, that has helped me along the way, and that may help you along the way too, get through life with a lot of joys, more joys than headaches. That's always the goal, is to get through life joyfully and as hopeful, as encouraging, as inspired as happily as possible. Now, we got to keep a practicality about that, but because life does have a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles and a lot of opportunities for trouble and hard times to occur. So we know everybody's going to get the hard knock. So we know everybody's going to get those moments that you're not going to like. But so we gotta aim to keep a practical, positiveness about ourselves. So I just want to talk about, I guess, 10 thoughts that kind of came to mind when I was thinking about, how to leave an impact and how to make an impression so strong that you're noticed when you're not around. I was listening to a speech by Goldman Sachs head Lloyd Blankfein, and he talked about when he first came on to Goldman Sachs, how he was pulled aside and told that you want to lead your life in a way in which your job is only mentioned in about two sentences, but you want your obituary, your legacy, to be about 9 paragraphs long, meaning you don't want to spend too much time focused on your work, but you want to spend a lot of time focused on the things that you do outside of work and the legacy that you leave and the impact that you leave and the type of relationships that you have in your life. Even looking at yourself, taking care of your own heart and your mind and your body so that you're just not going through life, letting life just tear you down and rip you apart, but you're going through life, mindful and holding to high regard and priority a lot of the decisions you make, the actions that you take, and the things that you allow to resonate with your heart and impact with your heart. So just talking about, ways to leave an impact and also ways to live a successful, prosperous life. Regardless of what your bank account may say, there's many ways that you can be wealthy other than how many pieces of green paper you have in an account or how many digital ones and zeros that you have. Not to say that you don't want to make it a life's goal to accumulate and stack that cheese, stack that dough as much as you can, but you don't want to make it your only goal or task, or you don't want it to be high priority over other more important things in life. So let me start with this thought. You want to give more than you take. So you want to add value in just about every form, way, shape, or fashion in your life to others as much as you can. I heard Gary Vaynerchuk talk about, he always talks about the 51% versus 49. Give 51, take 49%, always. And that's one of his priorities, that one of the principles that guides his actions when it comes to relationships and the way he runs his business and how he runs transactions and interactions. And, I thought that was very poignant, and I thought that was a very good practice to employ in my life, and in that, you want to focus on being an asset to others versus a liability. I've learned that when you become an asset to others, people are attracted to you. You attract people to you, and people just love being around you. Gosh darn it, and people like you. So, when you're always giving more than you take, you become a servant. You become somebody who can become a person of value to other people, and that goes well in an obituary. That's a good legacy to leave. That's something I want people to say about me when I leave the earth. That you know what? He was always a giver. He always gave more than he took. He always added value to my life in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So that's one way of leading an impact on in others' lives, and also living joyfully and living a life that has meaning and purpose behind it. Number two, don't complain. And I know this is easier said than done. Uh, it definitely is today. You know, there's always something to complain about, but nobody really wants to be around others who's always spewing out negativity and complaining. One way you can get around this, or one way you can help mitigate complaining, is complain to the Creator Almighty. Now, this show does come from a Christian viewpoint, a Christian ethic, a Christian philosophy. It does have its a foundational philosophy from a Christian point of view. So from time to time, you may hear me talking about the Creator and talking about scriptures and Bible and stuff like that, amongst other things. So one way I found around complaining is, number one, casting my cares and my complaints and my frustrations in the lap and in the ear of the Creator Almighty. He's the only one that can truly fix and truly help and lead and guide and give instructions on how to approach things that frustrate you and give you reason to complain. But with that said, you want to limit your circle. You want to limit who you complain to a small circle of tight-knit friends who are able to not only handle it, able to take it in, but also able to return and favor an ear of sympathy and empathy, maybe some solutions if you're looking for it, or just somebody who's able to help absorb some of the toxicity that may be flowing through you without any problem. So you got to know who you can complain to if you do decide to complain to another person, whether it be a spouse or maybe a sibling or a close confidant. You know, if you do find yourself complaining, you want to do it to a small circle of friends and people that you can really depend on and look to. Like I said, for an ear or a shoulder of sympathy and empathy, maybe just somebody who can help bounce and take in some things and help you with counsel. You know, you don't want to complain to everybody, because sometimes those complaints come back to bite you. So you don't want to complain too much. Number three, the next thought has to do with doing your best to love without reservation or attachment. And then also, equally important, initiating and transacting in your relationships with approaching with respect. And this comes from, I forgot the name of the author, but a book called Love and Respect, dealing with relationships and how it's important. This goes back to Shanti Feldhahn and some of the research that she's done. She's a former Harvard graduate, and her resume is quite strong. But this goes back to her, too. And also Gary Chapman in 5 Love Languages, talking about how if you look at female-male breakdown, one of the things that really speaks to females, one of the most important things that speaks to the heart of females is that they feel loved, chosen, and cherished. But, you know, all that at the foundation of that is love, and just loving not only females, but people in general without reservation, acknowledging and recognizing that people in general are images of God, the Creator, and that each one deserves love and respect, unless otherwise their actions dictate it. So if somebody's actions dictates and is not one worthy of respect, then you disrespect. You do it, whatever. What you do, you respond in kind, in a way that wisdom deems it necessary. But you want to initiate, you want to approach, you want to be a catalyst. You want to start off your relationships with love, with respect, unless interactions over time dictate otherwise. So you have to take other things into consideration. But talking about ways to leave an impact and live a joyful and peaceful life. Do your best to love without reservation or attachments. Equally initiate with respect. Number 4, being principled in action. And what this means is that you just don't get up and just start doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? You want to have your actions be guided and dictated by principles. And principles simply mean first things first. Principles mean that you're operating with a underlying philosophic paradigm in place, that you're just not just going off instinct, or you're just not operating blindly. You're just not operating without any thought or without any meaning behind it. It means that you've actually sat down, you thought about some things, and you've decided to prioritize your thoughts, and you've decided to prioritize, and you've decided to get your mode or your paradigm in order in such a way that your actions follow suit. And what I mean by this is that, for number one, for me, for example, I hold family as high priority. So my actions are dictated by my high priority that I hold for family. So that means that I have to look at my schedule. That means I might have to say no sometimes when I want to say yes to certain things that are asked of me, just because me saying no or me saying yes may interfere with my family time, my quality family time. So just because I've made the decision to hold with hard regard the institution of family in my life, really like sit down and make that conscious decision, it helps streamline my actions, and it helps me make better, wiser decisions when it comes to whether the decisions that I'm making is going to affect my quality and quantity family time. Otherwise, if I didn't consciously make that decision, then I may find myself just out. Just given my personality, I may be working 24/7 just because I like to always be moving, and I like money, just like some of you. So, I like to be stacking the cheese. You know what I'm saying? So, you wanna have your actions be principled. Number 5. I'm talking about number 5 here. Just remember, this is a live beta test, just out talking, seeing if anybody's listening, and just expressing some ideas that I've had for today, just blindly out there, throwing it out there into the ether. Number 5, live with legacy in mind. And this goes back to as I was talking about with regard to a speech, an interview I heard with Lloyd Blankfein, the head of Goldman Sachs, today. And he just talked about when he was a young banker or bankster, getting started, how he was pulled aside and said that, you want your obituary to be 9 paragraphs long, and you only want what you did for a living to be about 2 sentences. You want the rest to be about what you did outside of work. So you want to live with your legacy in mind. What do you want people to say about you when you leave this earth? What do you want to be? What do you want it to say in your tombstone? What do you want your children to say? What do you want your ex-wife to say about you? It was either good riddance to bad rubbish, or I have to bow down and acknowledge that, hey, so and so was what she was. I can't say anything negative about him. We didn't work out, but he left the impact. Regardless, he or she left the impact. So your legacy. You want to live with your legacy in mind. This is how you can learn to live joyfully, freely, live an encouraging and inspirational life. How you can leave an impact on others. Number 6, appreciate and value each person and individual as um, imagers of the Creator, meaning that just because a person is human, they deserve to be approached in a relationship transaction with them needs to be one from respect and love, unless otherwise deemed. You know what I'm saying? So, just in general, have an appreciation for people for who they are. This helps you just kind of get over a lot of hangups. This helped me get over a lot of hangups, Lord, when I was younger, when it came to people and just dealing with people and everybody's, people's quirks and different people's temperaments and personalities. Just recognizing that nobody's the same. Everybody's got their quirks. Everybody's got their idiosyncrasies about them. So, and everybody's unique, and everybody is got their thing. So just let them be. Let people be who they are. Just appreciate everybody for who they are. If you can't find something, look harder. Everybody's got something that you can appreciate about them, that you can hold value to, that you can learn from. Just because they're made in the image of the Creator. Number 7, be slow to decide, quick to execute. Slow to decide, quick to execute. That means that, you want to be a person that you're thoughtful, you contemplate, you think about what you're going to do, and then once that decision is made, you go get it done. Period. No procrastination. I know this is easier said than done, but this is how you make an impact. And also, this is how you get things moving in your life. This is how you start on the path to success and achieving some of the goals that you've deemed for your life, and what you start achieving and living a life that you want to live, other than the paradigm that's been handed to you as you were born, that the culture dictates to you. Number 8, practice, practice, practice. And that means that whatever you do, practice. Perfect practice. That means you're always honing. You're always adjusting. You're always getting better at your craft, your skills. This is how you make an impact, that when people call on you for whatever they call on you for, that you're so good that if they don't call on you, then it will be noticed. Or if your job, they call on you and you do a job, that it will be noticed because it's so well done. It's so well done. So practice, practice, practice. Number 9, let it go, man. And what that means is to live a life of forgiveness. This is how you make an impact on people, that when they commit offenses against you, which people will do because that's what people do, you don't hold it in your heart. You don't hold any bitterness. You don't hold any anger. You don't try to get revenge. You feel it. I felt that, man. You really got me. And you let it go. Just let it go. Hold on to stuff. Like I've often heard, I'm sure you probably heard the cliche that when you hold on to bitterness and unforgiveness, it's like drinking poison, hoping that it hurts the other person. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make any sense. So this is how you leave an impact on people, in which they find that you're a person that really don't hold grudges. That goes a long way with people. That's how you can make an impact on people, when they see that and they recognize it. Number 10, laugh out loud every day. Laugh out loud every day. That's probably one of the most important thing on the list, is just making sure that you get a couple of deep belly, knee slapping, feet stomping laughs. And every day you deserve it. And that's one way, that's one small way to live a life of impact because it makes you joyful, it makes you happy, it makes you a pleasant person to be around, it helps your attitude, it helps your outlook on life, and that goes a long way when it comes to people and how they feel you, how they receive you, how they see you, how they feel when they come around you. The how the vibe is when you come in the room, that really has a strong impact and effect. So I just did a little beta test tonight, talking about how to leave an impact and how to live a life of joy, and how to live a life that is pleasant, and one that you will that you'll love to live, and the one that people around you will be attracted to, and impact